What's up guys, Nathan from Art Project coming to you once again, and with the dust settling from the Grammys, I felt it would be good to give an album review for you all. First off, congrats to Taylor Swift on winning Album of the Year for 1989, but that is not the album that I want to discuss with you here today. Rather, I want to bring to your attention the album that I think should have won Album of the Year, but was not even nominated for the category. And that is the self-titled debut release of Jack U. Since releasing their debut in February of 2015, Jack U has skyrocketed in acclaim. Yes, it's due in part to them being a superstar pairing of electronic heavyweights Skrillex and Diplo, but I think more importantly, their prominence is due to the fact that these guys, quite frankly, created a phenomenal piece of music. It's progressive, it's powerful, it's thought-provoking, it will pound your eardrums into your freaking skull and still be pleasing and non-fatiguing. What you hear in this record is a thoroughly executed fusion of two artists whom prior to this I don't think held many artistic similarities with one another. Traditionally, Diplo had incorporated reggae, Caribbean, and other world music into his brand of EDM, whereas Skrillex, of course, is the face of dubstep. And though each of them have been evolving in their own ways from their original artistic musings, Skrillex and Diplo really showcase the maturation of ideas, composition, and production in their Jack U collaboration. Throughout the album, they not only highlight various subgenres of electronic music, they go further by combining different themes in the individual songs that bring rise to music that is original in every sense of the word. This is particularly evident on songs such as Jungle Bay and 2U, which is my personal favorite. The essence of what I'm saying here is that these aren't your stereotypical house songs where it's just build up, drop, build up, drop. Yes, there still are build-ups and there still are drops, but they are incorporated in such a way that adds to the overall progression of the songs in a manner that isn't predictable. When beginning this album, one may initially feel that Diplo has the larger influence on the music. On the first two songs, Beats Knockin' and Take You There, the listener hears synths that are reminiscent of previous Diplo tracks such as Revolution. However, Skrillex plays a fundamental part in the production of both these songs, albeit non-musicians may not pick up on it. On any song he's involved in, Skrillex secretly shines through on creating really powerful drums, particularly snares and kicks. Diplo himself said in an interview with New York's Hot 97 radio that he felt Skrillex created the best drums out of anyone in EDM. And these skills are apparent from beginning to end on this album, and they become more prominent with each new song. Case in point, pay attention to the deep resonance of the kick and toms on the third song for Breeze, which is Jack U's most obvious nod to trap music. You'll notice that the kick's resonance actually deepens from the first drop to the second, a method they also employ on the song Holla Out. It's not a flashy technique by any means, but it really adds to the intensity of the song's progression. Breeze also features verses from hip-hop artist 2 Chainz, who by no means is my favorite rapper by any standard really. That being said, I actually enjoy his vocal on this song. It's a pretty typical 2 Chainz verse as far as I'm concerned, but he was a good choice for the feature because he matches with the elements that Diplo and Skrillex are trying to convey in their trap style of the song. And that's the other thing I forgot to mention. The guest artists that Jack U feature on this album are all excellent suggestions. They didn't simply invite a bunch of big names to randomly stick them on top of their songs. No. In fact, most of these guests aren't very well known by the general public at all, such as Bungie Garlin on Jungle Bay or Tarantula on Holla Out. You can tell that Skrillex and Diplo took the time to seek out artists whom they felt could best help them craft some musical ideas, as opposed to creating superficial hype with name drops. This is even the case with their most famous guest, Justin Bieber. We'll get to him in a little bit. To me, the album's most creative moments appear in songs such as Jungle Bay, Holla Out, and 2U. So many different musical influences surface on these tracks. In 2U, Skrillex's rock background is blended with dramatic synths, horn sections, and reverberating toms. Jungle Bay adds to Diplo's taste of reggae with booming groove sounds, and almost like a tribal rain dance in a sense. Holla Out is a sonic assault that showcases robot talk box effects with intense drive that you would hear in a classic metal song. And like I said earlier, there are sounds that I've frankly never really heard before on these songs. I mean, listen closely to Jungle Bay, to those tribal drums I mentioned earlier. particularly in the second part of the song where they almost sound like they're growling at you. It's really strange sound, but it's awesome. It's great stuff. Another highlight is the song Mind, one of the more laid-back songs in the album. And as far as I'm aware, I believe this is one of, if not the first time we hear Skrillex sing a legitimate vocal track on one of his songs since he was back in his old hardcore band from First to Last. I love it because it really just continues to showcase his abilities as a musician. And of course, there's Where Are You Now featuring none other than Justin Bieber. Now I'll be honest with you, even though this is easily the most famous song on the album, it's my least favorite. It's certainly the most pop radio friendly, especially since it does have Bieber singing on it. That being said, it's still a really good song. It has emotional groove to it, and to give credit where credit is a bit due, Justin Bieber sounds pretty darn good on this. Actually, I was quite shocked when I first heard this, and you know, he did a good job. I mean, it really did. It sounds great, which I'm really glad about. And seeing as this song just won Grammy of the Year for Best Dance Recording, I feel very glad about it too. To sum this up in, I guess, a single statement, I'd say that with their debut, Jack U pushes the boundaries of electronic music and music in general can represent. More importantly, I feel that time after time that you've listened to this, you're gonna have fun each time. And getting back to the main point of this, I feel they should have won Album of the Year. So if you haven't heard this album yet, go out there, buy it, listen to it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click the subscribe box down below. I know I'm just getting started, but I'd love to have your support. I'd love to hear your comments as well on what you think of this album, as opposed to maybe another album that you think should have won Album of the Year. Have a good day, guys.